Well viewers, welcome to Your 4x4. Here we are on our third day touring around the northwest corner of Victoria. We've seen some fantastic scenery, plenty of wildlife. It has been absolutely awesome, but it is unfortunately our last day here. We've got some great forward driving planned. We're going to hit the blacktop, run our way over to Murrayville, then heading south into the big desert. Let's find some sand dunes and have some fun.
Your 4x4 is presented by the Holden Colorado 7, Light Force Performance Lighting, Brown Davis Automotive, Kmart 4-Wheel Drive, ARB 4x4 Accessories, Piranha Off-Road Products, and Berrima Diesel.
Well, we had a fantastic campsite last night, Alan. A roaring fire going and all got a very good night's sleep. I understand that the route that we were originally going to take back into the desert was closed off, and that's why we took the big long detour.
Well, yes, very much so. The maps indicated a whole host of tracks going through the actual desert itself, which sounded like a great idea, but unfortunately due to gated tracks, we ended up taking quite a long detour on the bitumen into this part of the national park.
Just woke up and we're looking forward to the last final day today. Get out and have a bit of fun in the dunes.
We're going to look at big dunes today, guys. We were supposed to see the dunes last night, but that didn't quite happen, so we came to camp a bit earlier. So today the plan is to see the big dunes, the really big cool dunes, and there are some out here. So hopefully within a few hours we'll be right into it.
So it's sad to see that it's our last day of Your 4x4. Be a great trip today, and let's see what adventures we can see.
Here we are, guys. We have driven on the blacktop. We are so excited about what these sand dunes are going to bring today.
Been waiting a whole 3 days.
3 days, 3 days.
72 hours.
So that's 4 days.
That's two. Carry the 4, carry the 6.
We've been waiting 3 days for
3 days. 3 days for these sand dunes. Apparently they're sensational.
All right, let's go. Come on.
Underbull, we went through to Murrayville.
Murrayville, yes.
And then headed south into sort of
the bottom corner of the desert, yes. It's quite a little pocket actually, but it was all explained in a map which we got from the local coffee shop, of course, which gave us some very good details of where to go.
Hi, David from Kmart 4-Wheel Drive. The beauty about sand is it's very forgiving, so therefore is not as hard on it as what rocks and hill climbs can be. So the beauty about the sand, you can have a lot of fun in it. Of course, dropping tyre pressures is incredibly important, and also airing those tyres back up, because once you're driving out here on hard tracks on low pressures, you can roll tyres off beads. So it's really important to make sure that you've got your tyre pressures correct. Have fun on those hills, enjoy the hills. The beauty about the hills and sand is that one big windstorm will come through and then all those tracks will disappear again and they're fresh for somebody else to enjoy next time.
The scenery was amazing this afternoon. I had no idea there were sand dunes this big in Victoria. No idea. I mean, I thought when Simon said we were going to go out and find some sand dunes, I thought they would just be little whoopsie-doos.
So your momentum is a key point when you're climbing these hills. Always keep the power on to that point where you think you're just going to have to keep back off again. Don't, because that's normally the breaking point of getting up or getting down. But also do it controlled. Don't be ridiculously stupid, but you can keep that power on because the sand is very forgiving and sand will slow you down very, very quickly. The minute you take that power off, as you saw with a lot of the cars today, they just sunk and you start digging. Another important thing is to do is the minute you lose traction is not to sit there and dig yourself in, because 9 times out of 10, you'll dig yourselves into a point where you're not going to be able to recover yourself, and you're going to have to get somebody to come and help recover you as well.
Different cars do differently, you know, very differently. And I guess you've got to think about, is your car set up to do steep dune work? If it isn't, and you're out there by yourself, you're probably better off not to play in it. I mean, you can nearly end up in all sorts of trouble, because obviously even backing down, if you get it wrong and you get sideways, you can tip the damn thing over. So you do have to be careful.
Absolutely. It's good having a good spotter outside the vehicle.
Having a spotter and being with a group of people who know what they're doing, and if you're not sure, go out with a club or whatever the case may be. Although this area is close and it's easy to find, there are still hazards out here.
That's what talk does. For a first timer on a hill like that, that's amazing. Get out here. You've got to get out. It's great. I'm still shaking.
Hey, we weren't going to lead up.
We weren't mucking around then. No, that was good. That was unreal. That's why we do it. That's why we do it. Stuff like that, that's amazing. I'm still going.
Next up, it's the Your4x4 email competition.
Yes!
Well, thanks, Simon. Our email for the week comes from Ralph Ruddershauser, and Ralph's written, "Some people play footy, some people play the flute. But for me, I play with my single cab ute."
Thanks for sending in that email. You've won yourself a Lightforce tack torch and stubby holder. You've also gone into the draw for the ARB twin motor compressor and projector 600 watt pure sine wave inverter. For full details on all of the Your4x4 prizes, check the Your4x4 website.
"30-second kitchen, a kitchen in 30 seconds. Fridge slide first. Fridge slide's got 130 kilo tracks in it, so it's nice and tough. Remove the R-clip, don't lose it. Drop the pin, leg locker, kitchen out. Lock kitchen down here, retrieve the R-clip, lock on here, R-clip in. Leg here, pull them together, stove, billy. How good's that, guys? Couldn't ask for quicker.
Sometimes the front runners lead from behind, and when it comes to protecting your rear, Kmart are world leaders in rear end protection and tow bar combinations. The just released Prado 150 is no exception, with a bar that is designed to follow the car's lines and work with your sensors and factory camera. For the best in rear end protection, trust Kmart. It's a statement, not just an accessory, for the toughest of 4x4 trips. For more info, go to kmart.com.au.
Does your diesel smoke, lack power, or have poor fuel economy? Then you need the Berrima Diesel treatment. Fine-tuning diesels since 1956, the Berrima Diesel technicians are Australia's leading diesel wizards. From a turbo installation to a high-tech dyno tune, when you think diesel, think Berrima Diesel. Visit thedieselexperts.com and make an appointment for more power, more torque, and better fuel economy.
I'd have to say it felt pretty exciting, that last bit. You looked like you were actually going to hit the tree, and if you missed the tree, actually go over the edge. And when you didn't go over the edge, it just turned beautifully. It just pirouetted and just went down the hill like you'd expect.
How was that, Alan?
Absolutely amazing. Top job.
Styled it, mate. Had no issues, got up a treat. No, it was good fun. Good fun. Couple of learning curves as you go up. You start to realise tyre pressures and that make a massive difference.
Massive.
So,
What did we go down? 2 psi, didn't we?
yeah, we dropped from 25 to about 22 I was on.
And it made a difference, a world of difference.
Yeah.
We'll get the strap off and then we'll get out and we'll see whether Miranda can get up in the patrol. What do you reckon? Should we bet? I don't reckon she'll get up in the patrol.
Me neither.
I don't think so.
Well, she might because she's a good one.
Shh! Don't say that.
What?
Well, I didn't get up. It's times like this I wish I bought my Land Rover.
Always remember when snatching, just to keep that turn back straight off, because what happens is with the inertia of the thing, if you've got it too tight, it'll lock up on you. So just one that half turn back, never have a problem.
I was here about a month ago and bought my new Discovery 4 to try this out, and basically idled up at about 1,000 RPM. I had a latte out the window and not a problem at all, whereas this thing had 3 attempts, you know, just not even in the same league. And the Discovery had 40 psi and it still got up there easily. So,
And road tyres.
it's British engineering. That's what it's all about, British engineering.
Interesting. This is a challenge. This is definitely a challenge, Michael.
That looks hard. Look at that middle one.
I know.
Look at the top of it. I don't know where you even go.
I think that wheelbase, that car, is not. That can't be done.
Do you reckon there's an auto in the convoy that could do it?
Possibly. Maybe.
Where'd you put your money?
The longer wheelbase just might straddle a little bit better. I don't know. They've got pretty good power. We've had probably 3 very good dune experiences. The first one was quite doable actually. The second one was much, much, much harder because you couldn't get a decent run up at it. But like all sand dunes, it changes all the time. Once it gets a bit rutted, you lose all your momentum and speed.
And it's interesting how the different vehicles handle in those situations. I mean, my son asked me earlier, so what is the best four-wheel drive? And a trip like this illustrates there isn't one, because, I mean, the Patrol, for example, was fantastic in the mud. It's a lovely touring vehicle, and it's a great vehicle on steep, rocky hill climbs.
Very stable, yes.
But up the sand dunes, it's hopeless. It just doesn't have enough power.
Not enough power,
And even with the tyres aired down to 16 PSI, that car was really struggling. You had the little Holden Colorado 7.
Wasn't that amazing?
That was probably, with the exception of your 80 series, which I know is very heavily modified, that Colorado 7 was probably the most capable vehicle on those Sam Dunes today.
Absolutely brilliant job.
As you would have seen today, we've had an absolute ball on some of these hills. Not every one of them we were able to conquer. Al was able to conquer the big one in the good old 80 series, and his pure skill of driving and prowess that he brings to us when we all go away four-wheel driving and have a lot of fun. As you saw with a lot of the other vehicles, they did struggle a little bit. Even the Prado, unfortunately, didn't make it up all the hills this time, but we had a lot of fun. We've had a really good day out here. It's a magnificent place to come. It's challenging, a little bit of mud, a little bit of four-wheel driving, some fantastic hill climbs, and a place that you should really try and bring your family and bring your cars out and enjoy and have a great time out here in the Sunset Country.
Well, this week's question for the experts comes from Drew Nash. And Drew's written, I have spotlights mounted to my nudge bar, but have problems with the spotlights leaning forward due to vibration. Is there a solution to this? Well, I think Hayden Ryan from Light Force will be able to answer this one.
Thanks very much for that question, Drew. And in simple terms, my answer to that would be that when you go out and you spend a lot of money on driving lights, that the first thing to do is to ensure that you buy a good quality driving light and to make sure that that driving light has a good mounting system. Last thing you want to do is get in the terrain and get it there at night time, set your lights into a certain position and then have them fail on you. The most important thing to start off with would be to ensure that your driving lights are positioned in the correct manner and that they're tightened in the correct manner. And that might be ensuring that you have a serrated edge type of mount. It may be that you have washers and lock nuts. If from there it's actually failing, after you've ensured that you do have everything in place, then I would probably question the style of driving light that you have, and it would be something where you may need to look at other forms of driving lights to ensure that you don't have those faults.
Thanks for sending in that question. You've won yourself a pair of Piranha diff breathers. You've also gone into the draw for a Brown Davis underguard, a pair of Light Force Striker driving lights and an RFI antenna. And for full details on all of the Your4x4 prizes, check the your4x4.com.au website.
Warning, beware of imitation lights. Only Light Force performance lighting guarantees Australian made, no leaking or melting, quality output and 3-year warranty. Unlike their imitators, Light Force lights feature peerless construction, leak-proof seals, impact-proof lenses and filters, vibration and fracture-resistant mounts and housing, and stainless steel fittings, outshining and outlasting their impersonators in every way. Often imitated, never replicated. Visit lightforce.com for the full range of authentic Light Force lights.
Got a tough 4x4 tourer and enjoy hitting the tracks? Odds are you'll need some serious underguard protection and a heavy-duty long-range tank. Brown Davis Automotive offer aluminised steel underguard protection plates and long-range tanks for most popular makes and models. They're designed and developed right here in Australia and have been tested to the extreme right across this great country. Remember Brown Davis Automotive. It's a trusted and family-owned Aussie business and proud manufacturers of high-end tanks, underguards and more.
Ard, Australia's largest manufacturer and distributor of 4x4 accessories, has everything you need for your next off-road adventure. From bull bars and suspension to recovery gear and lights, we've got four-wheel drives of all shapes and sizes covered. Whether you're heading off the bitumen for a weekend getaway or preparing for that epic round Australia trip, enjoy a safer, more comfortable journey with ARB. To order a copy of our free catalogue, visit our website or give us a call.
This week's first entry is this recently purchased Mitsubishi Triton, which has since been fitted with a snorkel, lift and other goodies. This shot was taken coming over Flea Creek in the Brindabella National Park. Next up is this GU Patrol, parked on the way to the top of Mount Terrible in the Victorian High Country. This Pajero has certainly seen plenty of the outback. This photo was taken at Ningen Station on a wildflower trip in Western Australia. Parked on Lily's Beach in North Queensland, this 100 series sure looks like a lot of fun, all set up to tackle some of the tougher tracks. And our final entry is this tough 80 series Land Cruiser, out for a play in the mud at the Mount Robertson State Forest in Victoria.
If you've just seen your photo and you're the first to email danny@your4x4.com.au, then you've won yourself the Projector 12-volt portable power station. All photos will go into the draw for the series prize of a DP chip diesel power unit and the amazing 12-volt travel buddy oven.
We came across this fantastic little oasis and we had to get through from one side to the other. A lot of mud and fun was had. Plenty of water around through there and it was a great time getting through it. A lot of communication as we were going through to make sure everyone had time. We had space between the vehicles to get from one side to the other and traverse it all safely, but we had a lot of fun. Another little place that we found here in the Great Desert.
You got mud spraying everywhere, you're using your low range, you're using your gears, and if you don't do it properly, you're stuck.
We promised you some four-wheel driving and the Murray Sunset area has turned it on for us today. We've had two fantastic hill climbs and now we've found ourselves with some water. What a fantastic surprise. Let's go and get wet.
It was definitely another one of those days of surprises around every corner. We had everything from African safari to the American woods, went in amongst pine trees as we came through, not far from here, and then you feel that you're in the middle of a green lush area, and then next thing you know you're in the raw desert. So every corner has its different surprises and it just keeps it interesting. I know sometimes when you're going on a big long trip you think to yourself, are we ever going to get off the sand? The good thing is here you play in the sand, and by the time you've gone, all right, we've had a good time on this hill, you're off, and next thing you know, you're in a water crossing, having a bit of fun in the mud, and then next thing you know, you're back on the nice tracks in amongst everything.
It's only 40 k's from Murrayville.
You could get yourself into a lot of trouble in this area, I'd imagine, because it looks so close to civilization on the map. I mean, it's just off the highway and you've got Mildura in front of you, and you could think, oh, we'll just take a little detour and come into here, and you could easily get yourself lost, couldn't you?
You could get very lost.
It's a maze of tracks. There are some very soft sand sections you could get bogged in. So it's, again, a great example of plan for the worst, plan for rain, plan for mud, plan to get stuck for a week, carry water, food, additional fuel, obviously. We did the Simpson last year, and that was a fabulous trip. But you know, we saw somebody probably every hour.
We ran into people all the time, didn't we?
All the time.
It was very social, actually.
It was very social. But out here, we've just seen nobody. It's absolute isolation.
There's a thing in four-wheel drive circles called the last track of the day. It's usually around 4 or 5 o'clock when you're about to head out, and it's the track where everything goes wrong. Well, we were on our way to the Murrayville pub. It was all over for the day. We'd finished our filming, and we've come across this beauty here. Another fantastic hill climb. I think we're going to give it a crack.
You reckon you got a good chance?
Going up to the top.
Oh, I reckon I'll give it a good go. You know, it's virgin territory. Well, you know, if you don't get up there, it's certainly not the car, it's me. So let's hope for the best.
That's one hell of a dune. How many metres would that be high, would you reckon? What, 50, 60, 80?
Of course, the last hill of the day is always the most challenging hill of the day, and at 4 o'clock we decided to start. It's now 6 o'clock and we're still at the hill.
There it is. Come back.
We didn't quite get up the hill, even though the Colorado 7 gave it the best it possibly could with all the noise in the world and spinning wheels, and the traction control was working. What a fantastic car that Colorado 7 is. But the Prado got up, but not all the way either. We've got 47 k's to go back to the pub now. I'm hungry, I've had enough. I'm David from Kmart 4-wheel drive. You've been watching Your 4x4. Oh, no. We're done.
Let's go.